Israeli troops shot down a Palestinian gang of 20 Hamas commandos, which crossed into Israel and blew a hole in the fence near central Gaza. 14,000 Gazans mobbed the border fence, hurling explosives, grenades, and rocks at Israeli soldiers. Meanwhile, the IDF destroyed its 15th Hamas terror tunnel, which ran 200 meters into Israel and was wired with electricity and telephone links. Depka military sources reveal that the IDF has known about the tunnel for several months, but delayed its destruction in order to complete negotiations with Hamas. They wanted to receive assurance that the tunnel's destruction would not cause a missile attack on Israeli targets. This operation will not impact the daily war waged by Palestinian mobs sending explosives across the border or the violent campaigns that Hamas is waging on Israel. These include the recent balloon bombs sent into Israel, such as the bomb inside a cardboard container shaped like the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which landed in the Israeli Eshkol Council. One of the balloons that landed behind the Knesset contained explosives. These balloons are being upgraded by Hamas to start taking lives and not just destroying property. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu had this to say at a cabinet meeting.
בחמאס כנראה לא הפנימו את המסר. אם הם לא יפסיקו את ההתקפות האלימות נגדנו, הן יופסקו בדרך אחרת, והיא תהיה כואבת מאוד. אנחנו קרובים מאוד לפעילות מסוג אחר, פעילות שתכלול מכות עוצמתיות מאוד. אם יש לו שכל, החמאס יפסיק את האש ואת ההתפרעויות האלימות עכשיו.
In other Gaza news, although Israeli politicians are going back and forth about a two-state solution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the U.S., Israel, Egypt, and Qatar are beginning to construct a new two-state solution. Palestinian Authority Chairman Mahmoud Abbas has not commented on the fuel delivery to Gaza. His threat to stop all payments to the Gaza Strip has received a counter-threat by Israel to cover the shortfall of funds by diverting all the money collected for the PA in Ramallah to Gaza. Since the accidental downing of the Il-20 Russian air crash on September 17th, Moscow has been putting together missiles designed to take down the U.S. F-22 and Israeli F-35 stealth planes over Syria. Depka sources say there are 3 steps in this process. First, Moscow told U.S. advisor to Syria, James Jeffrey, that a new Syria deal with Washington was available and welcomed him to Moscow to discuss the new plan. Second, Netanyahu was persuaded not to be alarmed by President Vladimir Putin. These steps were a hoax to distract attention away from the Russian Defense Ministry's assembly of a defense missile system in Syria. Several S-300 batteries were shipped to Syria with the purpose of convincing U.S. and Israeli Air Force commands not to play games with Russia. Russian officials spoke of 4 to 8 S-300 batteries being shipped to Syria, but that was untruthful information. Last Monday, 3 full battalion sets of S-300 systems, each set armed with 300 anti-air missiles with 24 launchers, were delivered. The Russian National Army was compensated with new S-400s as well. A deal between Moscow and Tehran included the transfer of Iranian teams into Syria in exchange for landing rights at West Iranian air bases used for Russian bombers and freight planes bound for Syria. Moscow's plan was created immediately following the Il-20 plane accident, and Putin took advantage of the situation to launch his next strategy in Syria. Until this was revealed, U.S. and Israeli Air Force units were unaware of the advanced capabilities of upgraded Russian weaponry sent to Syria. Whereas the S-300 missiles target high-flying planes, Depka Weekly has discovered that Russia has secretly deployed 2 missile systems, the Panzer 21E and Pekora M2S, which are designed to attack low-flying aircraft. Last Monday, Netanyahu expressed hope that he will soon meet with Putin. But on the same day, Moscow announced its delivery of 3 battalion sets of S-300 air defense systems to Syria. Netanyahu also announced that Israel would not give up its permanent sovereignty over the Golan. He expressed confidence that President Putin understands Israel's need to maintain sovereignty in the region. On Wednesday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov refuted Netanyahu by stating that the status of the Golan is determined by the resolutions of the UN Security Council. Changing the status would be a direct violation of these resolutions. Intelligence advisors have warned Netanyahu that Putin does not intend to honor his promises when it comes to Israel's security. Netanyahu, however, believes he can convince Putin to stand up for Israel on issues of national security. Advisors state that Putin will never compromise on his country's strategic interests for the sake of Israel's. The U.S. did not interfere when Russia sent S-300 air defense missiles to Syria. The head of the U.S. Central Command, General Joseph Votel, called the missile deliveries a needless escalation, but did not do anything to stop it from taking place. Netanyahu understands the heightened risk to Israeli jets since the Russian S-300 and other cutting-edge air defense systems have entered Syria. Iran is also using this time to ship precision missiles to Syria in order to replace the supplies that Israel destroyed. Last Monday, former Russian ambassador to Damascus, Alexander Zotov, stated that Israel needs to understand the risk in carrying out operations without coordination with Russia. Moscow is now working on a new plan that puts Israel in a different position in regards to Putin's overall strategy. Putin wants to make sure that Israel is working on his terms before discussing military coordination with Israel. That's all for this week's edition